I love getting like close and cozy with you guys. That's why I always kind of scoot up for these. But today is my favorite type of video. Obviously, this is only the second month of my YouTube channel, so my comment area is a little dead. But I did receive one comment from an early subscriber, so I'm going to answer it now. The comment was, you should make a reflection video about the progress you've made since starting the channel. Whew! And that's from David Williams. So shout out to David Williams for being my very first question for one of these videos. Super honored. You're low-key popping my cherry. So inappropriate. This is why I script. Well, let's reflect, shall we? That's one of my favorite activities, so I'm 1000% here for it. YouTube has been a religious experience. Do not start a YouTube channel if you are not willing to consider it a whole new business. That is exactly how these first 2 months have been for me. You might not have noticed if you weren't an early subscriber, but in just 60 days on YouTube, I have completely revamped my branding. When I started my YouTube channel, my header looked like this. Now, my header looks like this. The difference was my branding and my purpose and me figuring out what I'm standing for in this space. I spent a lot of time figuring out what I wanted my storefront of YouTube to look like. So what do I want the About Me section to say? What do I want the header to look like? What do I want my thumbnails to be branded as? Now, since my husband and I already own Self-Made Couture, which is our business, I wanted to stick to that branding scheme. So our branding book for our business follows navy blue, white, gray color palette. That's honestly why my apartment is blue and gray. My whole life has been designed around our brand, and really our brand is a representation of our life. So it all meshes together. So YouTube needed to follow that palette. And this is another big thing. I went through a whole name change. I started the YouTube channel as Becoming Self-Made. I realized early on it wasn't really jiving with me. This is really SydChestnut. This is me showing up, giving tidbits in life and business and weddings, but the name Becoming Self-Made didn't feel all-encompassing enough. Yes, that's the kind of energy that I'm funneling with this space, but it's really me. So I finally had the courage, month 2, to rename the channel SydChestnut. So you might have noticed my opening is different. It used to say Becoming Self-Made, and now it says SydChestnut. That was a really empowering moment for me that I kind of stepped into this month. Other than the branding, I got crystal clear this month on what kind of content I wanted to do. So if you saw the video that I posted last month reflecting on kind of why I'm even on YouTube at all, I made it clear that I wasn't exactly sure about what I wanted to do on this channel. Well, I'm clear now. And clarity is a beautiful thing. And if you saw my affirmation video, you know that the first step to getting clear is assuming clarity. So I spent a lot of time this month on affirmations stating, I am clear. I know exactly what I want to do. I'm crystal clear about what I'm bringing to this channel. And that's how I feel now. Now I have a straight rotation plan. So pretty much the rotation plan follows my life. Again, if you're going to be on YouTube and you're going to make this commitment, you really have to think of it like a business. And for me, from all my experience starting businesses, closing businesses, having failures, and having a business that is successful, the main difference was Self-Made Couture was able to grow with us, and we were able to sustain it, not effortlessly, but rather easily, because it was like a baby growing and we were its parents. So that might seem weird, but that's the same way I think about YouTube. It has to be something that can easily fit into my already established life and kind of be a new addition without being overbearing, if that makes sense. So I had to think about a schedule, and I had to think about content that I could easily do and sustainably keep up with on a regular schedule without it feeling taxing or feeling like it's sucking the life out of me. Because one thing I don't want to do is spend time doing things I don't like to do. So I try to make sure I design anything that I'm going to go after in a way that makes it fun and effortless for me so that I can keep up with it. Posting once a week works for me on YouTube. I know that they say for like fast growth, you should post daily or some exorbitant amount, but that's not sustainable for me. So I have my Saturday 9 a.m. posting schedule, and I'm committed to making that date. Another thing that I figured out is every week, what type of content do I want to do? So I thought about, if I'm committing to YouTube for a year, minimum, we'll see what happens after that, but if I'm for sure committing to seeing this out for a year, then that's 12 months. That's 4 weeks in a month. So I need weekly content for every month of the year. And in order for me to not get bored, I have to have things in kind of like 3 or more. So that's how I go about relationships. That's how I go about a lot of things. So I came up with a schedule that allowed me to have different content every week, but it's still in a cycle. So eventually I'll have like playlists that follow my content schedule. So at the beginning of the month, I'm super into self-care. I love that type of content. I'm really good at focusing on self-care. So I definitely wanted to have an element of the channel be that. So the first video of every month is gonna be something self-care oriented. The second Saturday of every month is gonna be something business related, because that's close to my heart. The third week of every month will be something wedding oriented, because weddings are a huge part of our life at Self-Made Couture. We're constantly working with brides and grooms and helping them create the best garment for their wedding day. And also all the days in between, engagement parties, all the celebrations for the lovely couple. So weddings and wedding tips, I mean, my major in college was hospitality tourism management. I've just always been in the wedding market, and I have a lot of information that I can share on that. And I love weddings. Like, who doesn't love love? So 1 week a month will be wedding themed. And then the last week of every month will be Q&A, reflection, like personal convo, story times. The more people engage with me on the channel, the more I'll be able to deliver in those end of month videos. But yeah, it's just been super great to figure out my schedule and figure out what I can do. And I think that's really important to sustain anything long term. I'm pretty sure I want to keep my videos short and sweet. I want to get to the point quickly, load it up with tidbits, and move on. Those are the videos that I enjoy watching on YouTube, so those are the videos I plan to make. I also want to like experiment a lot. I want to try it all. I want to do it all. And then year 2 is when I'll kind of niche down even further. So that's where my mindset is. I know that YouTube for me will be a long-term journey. So my first year, I'm really just practicing. That's how this all feels. I'm not getting too caught up in numbers. I'm not taking myself too seriously. I just want to do the best content every week that I can and stay consistent. As far as progress is concerned, I'm not ready to share my subscriber count yet. I actually have a goal in mind, and when I reach that, that's when I'll share that number. But do know that I have reached my first goal, which was at least 100 subscribers so that I could qualify for YouTube's custom URL. So now I'm officially youtube.com/ SydChestnut. So I'm super excited about that, and I literally would have cried and looked up and showed up at somebody's doorstep if they already had my YouTube URL. But God knew what I needed when I needed it. So the YouTube URL, SydChestnut, is all mine. My next milestone that I want to get to is 500 subscribers so that I can have the community board. And I'm really excited about the community board. It's like kind of an internal chat. And I think that's really going to take content to a whole nother playing field, because there's so much that I want to share with you guys that isn't necessarily like video type content. So like resources and PDFs and just any paper type things I want to drop in that community chat. So I can't wait to have that unlocked. But you have to have 500 subscribers for that. So that lets you know that I'm in between 100 and 500. But I'm not telling you the exact number yet. I will say, as far as process is concerned, I have a strict schedule. I write my scripts, I do all my research ahead of time per video, if there is any. Then I kind of film in one day. Then I'll edit the next day, and then I do my thumbnail the day after that, do my descriptions for my video after that, and schedule them out for posting. So I kind of drag that process out all week. That's been sustainable for me because I don't have hours to sit and do a YouTube video. I have to kind of break it up during the week. So that's how my process is so far. I'm super excited and really proud of myself for getting to month 2. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know that the NBA All-Star Weekend happened in Cleveland, and I got to meet my YouTube idol, Gary Vee, which felt so full circle, because literally if I had met this man 6 months ago, I wouldn't have been able to say I was a YouTuber. Or if I met him last quarter, I wouldn't have been able to say I was a YouTuber. But I met him and I was able to say that I started YouTube and I grew up watching your videos, and every time I watched your videos, I thought, I want to do this. And now I'm doing it. So it was amazing. I literally choked up talking to him, and I never thought I would be that type of person. Like, we're all just humans in this world. Some of us have jobs that make us famous, some of us don't. But when I saw his face and he looked at me, I was like, thank you. Thank you for everything that you've done in life. Like, I was watching your camera unboxing videos 7 years ago, and they just touched my little Jewish heart. And yeah, it was pitiful, honestly. Like, I couldn't respond. He was like, do you want to take a picture? I was like, so I'll show you the picture. No, matter of fact, I'm not going to show you the picture. Follow me on Instagram if you don't already, and you can see the picture. It's literally one of the last pics I just posted. So, well, David Williams, I hope I've answered your question on kind of how I've reflected on my 2 months so far on YouTube and how I'm progressing and what my process has been like. Thank you so much for being my early subscribers. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey. I'm so grateful for you. And this is just the beginning. Drop anything that you want me to talk more about, and I will do it. I am loyally committed to you all. And until next time, remember to be self-made. Bye!